Yo, yo, yo. What it do? What it do? What up, Soup? What it do? What's up, buddy? What's going on, Chatterinos? My dudes and dudesettes. We're playing Pow World today. Woo! I'm excited, dude. Hope everybody's doing well. It's also Friday, so there's always that to be excited about as well. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys are doing well. Happy flipping Friday. We got video gaming news coming up in a moment for this morning and today, January 19th. And then as soon as we finish that, it's gonna be Pow World time. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. So I guess without any further ado, man, let's get into this video gaming news stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's do this, man. My hair is wild today, dude. It's just wild, but that's okay, man. I'm kind of a wild guy sometimes, so it's fitting. Let's go get into this, man. Let's do this. Wait, what are you talking about? What is this, dude? I mean, this is to be expected, buddy. This is to be expected, dude. So, I don't know. You know, this is kind of the way the gaming industry works, and there'll be a lot of people that don't feel real happy about that and everything. But it's, yeah, I mean, this is the way it works. And for these businesses and stuff, it's like, you know, to an extent, the older a game gets, the more likely this, you know, the overall support, especially whenever the game is no longer the front runner for a series or whatever, or, you know, has lost its prominence for the company and the player base dwindles and stuff like that. It's just, you know, that's the way it goes. You know, with GTA 6 coming out, there'll still be some people that play GTA 5 and everything, but it won't be their bread and butter anymore. There won't be as much of a need to support that game like there will be a need to be focused on supporting GTA 6 and stuff, you know? Yeah, I know. I know it's not. I mean, when are they saying they're ending support? It's like it's February 20th. But a large part of it is probably because they're doing the utmost they can to get prepared for making sure that everything's ready for GTA 6, man. So, I mean, you have to understand, this is just the way it goes. I'm not surprised by that, you know? I'm not surprised by that. I appreciate the info. I'll talk about it. We'll address it in the news whenever we get all of our articles up, man. Thank you. Yep. Not surprised though. Avowed? Nah. I don't think Avowed. We'll talk about we'll recap yesterday's developer direct. Indiana Jones actually looked really good. Indiana Jones actually looked really good, surprisingly, and everything else was exactly what I expected, unfortunately. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 looks like a movie. It doesn't look like a video game. The Avowed game, while probably will be pretty solid gameplay wise and everything from Obsidian. Obsidian's really good with games. It's not going to be a game that most of us, I think, Pillars of Eternity fans are looking for out of that universe. I'm not excited about it. After what I keep seeing, I'm not that excited about it. You know? Aura was a waste. I don't know about that. I think it depends on if you're into that genre or not. I think if you're into that genre, like our buddy Tinwin was really stoked about Aura actually. So I don't know. I think you've got to be a player of the, you know, a really big lover of the strategy, the 4X kinds of games to maybe get psyched about that kind of game, you know. I didn't think it looked bad. It's just not my bread and butter either. But I think that just because something's maybe not your specific cup of tea, if you will, genre-wise, doesn't mean it necessarily looks bad either. You know, you can't just be blindly bagging on something just because it's not necessarily your cup of tea genre-wise. You know what I mean? One second, buddy. So, I don't know. Tinwin might actually play it, and we'll find out. I think it looked pretty good for the type of game it is, Aura, but it's not really my cup of tea either, if you will. It's not one of those types of genres that I'm really, really intrigued by. But Indiana Jones did look decent. I think it looked pretty good, actually, considering what I was expecting out of it. So let's go with The Verge. We'll look at that there. Mass layoffs are causing big problems in the video games industry. You think? And we'll just pull this up too. So we can just cover the developer direct we watched yesterday. 8% of developers in a GDC survey said they're working on Nintendo's next console software. I think that's what that is. Yeah. So on games for the next console. Yeah. So we've known for a while there have been a lot of developers that have had their hands on developing games for Nintendo's next hardware. We've known that for quite some time, which is why we've all known that we should be expecting hardware at some point this year. I think late summer, early fall time, and that's not really new news, so that's not something for us to really dive into there. Shouldn't be a surprise. I'm gonna give you my own opinion here. Video games might release faster because of AI, but is that actually a good thing for gamers? We already deal with a no. I don't want to stop it. AI, please save the day. Blah. Jesus Christ, dude. We already deal with a huge issue of way more titles being released than anybody could hope to play, even as variety game players, variety gameplay, even if you're not into just specific genres of games, variety game players just can't keep up. with all the game releases and stuff, and even specific, people that play specific genres can't keep up anymore. It's just too much. There's just too much, dude. And here's the problem. I've talked about this for a long time now. There is something to be said for quality over quantity, okay? Now, if anybody thinks that AI in large part is going to bring us better quality games than, what we're currently getting, because they can push them out faster, that is the wrong way to implement it, and it's not going to do anything better for us. So that's just a fact. That's a fact. It's not that AI cannot, AI can be used if done ethically, and it can, I think, be an efficient way to build bigger worlds, even maybe more immersive worlds in some fashions, but it's not being utilized that way. And all that these companies care about is faster, more games, and we see how many studios are, just not making it anymore. There's just too much. There's too much out there. There's not enough retail space for the amount of games being pushed out. Not enough people, have enough time to play them all. So there's no point in buying all of them. It doesn't work. We need probably fewer games and higher quality games. It's probably what we need. GTA 7, you're just getting way too ahead, dude. Way too ahead. Booty boop. We already talked about this. Boop, booty boop. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. There's your Genshin stuff, Soup. 4.4 banners. Jin Yun, is that how it's spelled or pronounced? Jin Yun. And Gaming. They've got a character named Gaming. Wow. A third. Oh, for real? Yeah, I saw some reviews kind of comparing it in a way to Ark. So, not surprised to hear you say that necessarily. I looked at reviews this morning. Yeah, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah. I already grabbed it. We're going to play it. Yeah. I didn't play Ark, dude. So, telling me it's all the same as Ark tells me nothing. But cool. Oh, okay, word. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, at least I know now that like playing Pal World will basically tell me what Ark was like. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people like Ark, right? So, I mean, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? I don't know what to take away from that, really. Interesting. It has really good reviews right now, even in early access. So I was like, well, why not, dude? Let's just dive in here and take a look, play around, see how it feels, you know? Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it, buddy. I mean, did you enjoy it? I guess that's my question. Have you enjoyed it so far? What you got to play? I know you didn't get to play much, but... Like the art style more. Third person works much better in this type of game for me. Cool, man. Nice. Word. Cool. Awesome, dude. Yeah, you know, what's it like? It's like at about a... Yeah, see, I'm downloading it right now. I got Choo Choo Charles, too. 88%. I was like, yeah, dude. 88%, and it's already got 1,100 reviews. It's probably worth picking up and trying out today, you know? Giving it a shot. Seeing how it feels and stuff, yeah. So, we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it feels. Have some fun with it, hopefully. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That's a good look anyways. I think that overall the reviews are pretty positive, especially for an early access game. And you and I tend to have really similar kind of, you know, preferences when it comes to games. Not that we don't have differing opinions sometimes and stuff, but usually I think that if you tell me a game's pretty solid, I can trust that notion, you know? So that's a good look, dude. Cool. I'm excited to jump in there. You gonna play some today when you get off work? You gonna play? You gonna come play with me? Huh? Oh, did you? Is it? Yeah. Dude, it looks really good. It looks really good. We'll have to try to get that on the schedule too, man. Yeah, we'll have to try to get that on the schedule too. Maybe, you know, maybe some of D's nuts as well. Maybe some of D's nuts. For those of you that don't know, Pinky gifted me this game yesterday. Pinky gifted me this game yesterday. Bro, I was dying, dude. Yo, what up, True? What's going on? True here bright and early this morning, boy. She's like, it's Friday, it's Power, it's time to party in OH channel. Came into D's nuts. Yikers. That's a statement. That's a statement right there. We'll leave that alone. We'll let that stop right. We'll let that stop right there. Oh man, it's already getting wild in here. Yo, thanks for the gift yesterday, buddy. I appreciate it. Even if it was a troll gift, it was totally worth and hilarious. Another snow day for the kiddos. Oh, word, that's dope. Yeah, we got more snow yesterday too. God dang, we got more snow yesterday. We got more winter advisory warnings. This weekend's getting cold again. We're more snow rolling in. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. Oh my God. We got obliterated. The Stars got obliterated last night in the game, dude, against Philly. We got outplayed so badly. It was probably the worst game I've seen us play all year. And we had probably going to be one of the best goals scored in the league all season long scored on us last night. It is absolutely insane. Here. Watch this. Watch this crap. Dude, I wasn't even mad. I was like, oh god, dude, I got to watch that live. This is insane. I watched the goal happen in real time, and I was like, that was video game stuff, dude. That was video game stuff. Watch this. I'm not gonna show it because I would have to cut it out of the news segment when I upload to YouTube and stuff. But check this out. Caps beat the Blues last night. Nice, dude. Check this out. Nice, Drew. Watch this video. This video is the goal that Tippett scored on the Stars last night, and I was just like having to like pick my jaw up, dude. Whenever I saw it happen, I was like, holy crap. Blown away. Get your emotes in there, guys. It was an absolutely just mind-blowing goal, man. It was insane. Hold on. This is one that they're going to be showing all season long, dude. All season long, they'll be showing this goal. It's gross. Nice, Pinky. Let's get back in here. Destiny 2 is finally getting a character customization update? Interesting. Yeah, lot of developers working on Switch or Nintendo's new hardware software for it. I stated that terribly, but bro, top shelf corner, like what the crap? That was insane. He wasn't even looking like at the goal. Like what a flipping goal. You know what I mean? Insane. What a deke, dude, with the spin. What a deke with the spin. The puck handling was just incredible. Incredible puck handling, dude, with the spinorama. And then to shovel that puck backhanded with your momentum swinging like that and to top shelf it. Jesus Christ, dude. Video game stuff, man. Insane. Oh, okay. Yeah, Pinky. All right, buddy. Yeah. Let me know if you're going to play Pal World today, okay, dude? Yeah, and thanks again for the gift yesterday, buddy. Dude, the puck handling was just incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, Pinky. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, seems good. Yep, makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah. Happy Friday, buddy. Hopefully we'll see you a little bit later, dude. I hope the rest of work goes well. Oh, look who it is. The Discord Troll Lord. That sounds good. I like that name. What up, Ferret? Yeah, we got some Destiny 2 news, dude. You probably already know about it, but we'll cover it. Visions of Mana coming to Xbox in summer of 2024. We saw that yesterday. We've got the developer direct kind of recap stuff up, so we'll touch on it in there. Oh, it's about their finally getting a character customization update, dude. So we'll be covering that here in just a moment. Happy Friday, by the way, everybody. Happy flipping Friday. Yeah, I figured you probably had. Yeah. Happy Friday, dude. I'll take some fries. Again, look, man. Seeing even more about Senua's Saga yesterday turns me off even more about it. This is going to be a movie with a little bit of some gameplay element in it, I think. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be a cinematic experience that they're trying to pass off as like a video game. I'm just this is not my kind of entertainment, dude. You know, I think that I think it's different if it's okay if obviously there are a lot of games that are built around the cinematic experience to give you, it's like choices matter. You know, whether you talk about like the Telltale games have done it for a long time, or you talk about like maybe something coming out fairly new here where like the Dead by Daylight series with the Frank Stone game, where it's going to be mostly a interactive cinematic experience, right? It's going to be more of that same thing. Choices matter. It's going to be just a lot of decision making and stuff like that. I think that most of what Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a story. It's just a story. It's not an engaging gameplay experience. It's going to be a cinematic experience where you're being they're trying to thrust you into this. They're trying to immerse you in this story behind Senua. And it'll have a little bit of button presses and joystick holding and stuff like that. But overall, I don't see this as a true video game. This is more of a interactive cinematic experience. And the thing that sucks is they're not promoting it that way, really. You know, they're promoting this as a true video game. And I could be wrong, but everything I'm seeing from this does not lead me to believe that this is a true video game. This is more of a movie than it ever will be an actual video game. And I'm not a fan of it, dude. As long as these types of games, you know, actually really, really sell themselves as what they truly are, I don't have as much of a problem with it. It's not necessarily my, you know, cup of tea, but more power to them if that's the kind of entertainment they're trying to create. But don't bait people into thinking that they're going to have this truly interactive experience of what a video game actually is, whenever that's not what you're getting. You know, that's what's going to be a big turnoff for me. I don't want to see this industry turn into this. Basically a visual novel. Yep, exactly. I don't want to see this industry turn into this convoluted mess of every time I buy a game, I don't know whether I'm actually getting an engaging video game experience or if I'm getting something that I'm just going to be sitting there watching like a movie. If I want to watch a movie or a show, I'll go watch a movie or a show on a streaming service, you know, like Netflix or something. I want to see this deliberately separated. These lines should not be crossed here as far as I'm concerned. It's gonna get gross. It's already starting to look gross to me. I've already I've been seeing it happen, and I'm not a fan of it, man. And I was worried about what they were going to show yesterday with this, and that it wasn't going to, you know, relieve a lot of my concerns about what this is. And I was right. It just looked like cinematic after cinematic after cinematic yesterday. So the thing that I'm wondering is, like, why are you even making a video game? A video game. You know what I mean? I don't really understand. If you're that adamant about providing this kind of, you know, movie experience, what are you even doing making a piece of software? Just go make a flipping movie. It seems weird. Again, it hasn't released yet, so we don't know in full. But the more I see things come out about that game, the more it's leading me to believe that's exactly what we're getting. Indiana Jones actually looks solid. It looked really good. They're always going to show you what they want you to see, but Indiana Jones actually looked pretty good. I honestly wouldn't be able to answer that. I wouldn't be able to answer that. And I think that's a pretty hard thing to answer depending on the way that it's all, it actually developed. So I don't think they're necessarily taking an easy way out. So I think that the way that they're creating it is pretty in-depth and pretty, as far as what the game, I'm going to air quote that anytime I call Senua's Saga a game, I'm going to air quote it because it doesn't look like a true video game to me. It looks very good for what they're trying to show, but it does just look like a visual experience with a little bit of interactivity, right? Like a visual novel almost, but a very, very high fidelity one, if you will, graphics wise, right? I don't know. That's what it's not like it's the only company that we've seen do that here lately either, though, right? And that's the thing for me is like I don't understand what this pivot is for some of these companies into taking these games and making, upwards of half of what you're doing just watching. It's weird to me. So I don't know why a lot of these companies feel like that's the play. I think that what they're doing with Senua's Saga is very detailed, very in-depth. I think that what they're going to be bringing to the table for people that enjoy that kind of experience is going to be probably pretty good. But it's not a video game. It's not a true video game, as far as I'm concerned. And I would give them a lot more slack. I probably wouldn't even be addressing it this way if they would just promote it as more of a cinematic visual, kind of experience or novel, you know what I mean? Like, but they aren't. And that's what throws me off. And as far as like, I don't know if they would necessarily be considered taking the easy way out. You can tell that, what they're doing isn't just, digitally created assets or anything like that. It's very, very lifelike. They're using real actors. They're using, legitimate, artists and stuff in this production. It's a high quality production. Don't get me wrong. It really, really is. So, well, I see, and that's what I don't understand. I'm not sure. I don't know. This is what is kind of weirding me out about it. Alan Wake 2 got such good reviews. Yeah, they are. That piece of software, it's a very high production value piece of software. But I would call it software. I wouldn't call it a game. Not for what I traditionally consider a game to be. And that's the thing that was weird for me about Alan Wake 2. Did Alan Wake 2 have its moments where you would be engaged in some action and stuff like that? Yeah. But it was also just super molding with how unengaged I was constantly with flashbacks and just cutscenes and having to deal with the mind space to put stuff up on that stupid wall and find out where they went on that wall all the time. Crap like that. And it was just like, that's what I don't understand. Alan Wake 2 got such good reviews. It got such good reviews. Alan Wake 2 on Metacritic. It was like a 92 or something. It's an 89 now. It's an 89. And it's an 8.8 user. Let's see what this... Bro, this is the way I feel. The Cinnamon Man, 95. Alan Wake 1 was amazing? Agreed. and captivating. Avoid this garbage. Dude, that's kind of the way I feel about it. This game is a steaming pile of garbage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this game called Alan Wake 2? Then why in God's name am I playing some FBI agent for the majority of the time? Dude, this would be the equivalent of playing Max Payne game, but you get to play as some other stupid character for the majority of the game rather than Max Payne himself. So you can get Max Payne. He is very annoying in this game. Before anyone dare accuse me of anything, I don't care who you play as. My point is that we should be playing as the protagonist for the majority of the game, especially when it's named after him. There is barely any shooting. It's a walking simulator. Not to mention the shooting mechanics are terrible. Kind of agree. The puzzles are a joke. The story is trash. I agree. That's what I was telling everybody too. The story is balls in this game. It was terribly written. The story's bad. It was unengaging. You know, surprised you can open the doors in real time, seeing how recent full price games. Yeah, let's see. There is a moment in this game that is extremely cringeworthy. I won't spoil it, but if you played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There is a lot of cringe stuff in this game. The biggest thing for me was like, the biggest cringe part of this game for me, other than getting soft locked, was going through the flippin' scene with all the music and the dancing and crap. Yeah, the map was terrible. I mean, I don't know how this game got such high reviews. And the people that are giving it the negative reviews, I think are really hitting a lot of the same things that I'm talking about. Alan Wake 1, and that's what I was saying. Alan Wake 1 was great. Alan Wake 2 felt bad. Like, really bad. Like, the story was balls. It sucked. And then it's like, the gameplay wasn't even really there, because half the time you're not even playing a game, you're just watching a movie and a cinematic and stuff. It didn't feel super great, man. All the way around, this game was, I had way more negatives than anything positive to say. And I don't know how how did it end up here? I just don't understand. Like, I'll be honest to God, I was just trying to finish this game because it did get such high reviews. But I'm not going to be heartbroken to not be able to finish this game. At all. And I feel like this is one of those titles that got reviews like this because people were just won over somehow by Remedy or something. Yeah, I don't know. You know, if it was any other year, this is the thing that's weird. There are many, many other years where a game with ratings like this would be up for like serious Game of the Year contention. Last year was just a year just polluted with banger games. So luckily, but a game that gets rated like this, and you guys saw the Game Awards or a lot of the awards given to video games last year, right? Alan Wake 2 was up there in a lot of nominations. And it was trash. The NPC interactions are flipping weird and repetitive. That's why I kept making fun of it. It was like they were all looking around for something everywhere. You know what I mean? It was, the entirety of this game was actual balls. And then it got ratings like this from users and Metascore. How? I don't get it, dude. I don't understand. It really was something that threw me off considerably. I honestly, I don't care to finish it at all. But I don't know. That's what I'm real confused about. I don't understand if there's that many people out there that really just enjoy a gameplay experience that's mostly you, a quote-unquote gameplay experience that's mostly you not playing the game. Which, when you state it like that, isn't really a video game. in my opinion. In the true aspect of what a video game is, right? Which is why I truly feel that if a game's going to be developed in a way that it's not in the true essence a video game, in the fact that you're controlling and doing most of what happens in that piece of software, it should be promoted as something of a specific genre, a visual novel, or a cinematic, interactive cinematic experience, something like that. Not a game. Not a game. It's getting really weird, man. And I'm not going to knock anybody for enjoying those kinds of experiences, but at the same time, I do feel obviously pretty strongly about the fact that it's not necessarily what a true video game is either, right? You need to be prepared for the fact that if you're going to be buying a piece of software that's been developed to not give you a full engaging gameplay experience, that you know what you're getting into on that front. If you're buying a something that's being promoted as a game, I'm expecting to be playing that game, not be watching videos the whole time. It feels like a bait to me. It feels like you're buying into something that you're not being prepared for what the content is. It feels bad. Right. Yeah. And that goes back to what we talked about not too long ago about how easy it used to be able to tell between what was something you were watching in video games and what gameplay was. It used to be much easier to tell, right? Because nowadays it's virtually negligible. I mean, you can't really discern the difference between what is a kind of a cinematic piece of software or what you're if you're actually controlling something in that piece of software, because the evolution of what has happened in video games has come so far. Yeah, so now a lot of what these software developers just do is go, oh yeah, this is a video game, this is all gameplay. This is just all gameplay. And it's like, dude, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, and I've noted there's a big difference, and I'll keep going back to the sentiment of, I think there are companies that do it very, very well, and I think that cinematics as a whole, obviously, have been a very engaging, very great thing for video games for a very long time. There are certain companies that are known for doing great cinematics. They're great for immersion. They're great for storytelling. They're great for diving into the lore of a universe that you're currently immersed in. I think that for me, as somebody that plays games on the hardest difficulty all the time, it can be a nice break sometimes to get a bit of a breather. And but I don't expect to be watching a cinematic all the time, and I think like 2018's God of War, Santa Monica Studios, they did a great job. The cinematics were amazing. They were just bangers, dude. They were so good to watch. They were so good. They were very well developed all the way around. They were great pieces of cinematic to watch in the game, but it wasn't polluted with them, and it felt appropriate. Anytime one came up, it felt like a nice little break from what I had been doing in the game, and most of what that game offered was gameplay. But a nice cinematic to flesh out the world, the characters, you name it. It is a great thing. Some video game developers, I think, are very, very good at utilizing cinematics correctly. And I think that there are some that are trying to just make movies now, which is off-putting to me. The real-time events in games, get a cutscene, want a cutscene. If I have to watch for button pressing, no longer watching, well, yeah, because you can't, right? Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what I was seeing from Senua's Saga too. That's what I was kind of trying to get to people across. People was like, you know, that's what a lot of Senua's Saga looks like. It's like, you know, you'll just be watching stuff, and the combat didn't look like fluid real-time combat action like hack and slash stuff. It doesn't look like that. It looks like some kind of mostly cinematic experience, like a you know, a cutscene kind of event where you're occasionally going to get prompted to hit buttons on screen, you know, and it's like, oh, if you don't hit the button at the right time, then, you know, there will be negative consequences. But if you do hit the button at the right time, then things will turn out okay for Senua, you know. And it's like, okay, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's the way a lot of it looked to me. But I understand what you're saying, Ferret, for sure. PlayStation 2 voted best video game console of all time in huge poll. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. It's the best selling console of all time too. PlayStation 2 was a banger, man. It was so incredible. Still got mine. Bro, this game was a banger. Yeah, heck yeah, dude. PS2 was so good. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff because of the developer direct. We're going to cover that. Vowed, Jesus Christ. I don't even think I'm going to play Avowed at this point. I'm just going to live through other people that play the game, probably. I just don't. I'm not feeling it, dude. Unfortunately. I was really psyched about when Avowed first got announced and everything. I was like, oh, sick, dude. It's going to be so good. It's going to be like Pillars of Eternity, but first person. And I don't feel like that anymore. Let's go one more page. Who's going to be able to play Pal World with me today? You going to play Pal World? Pinky's already talked to me a little bit about it. I woke up and looked at reviews. If you guys haven't seen already, oh, it needs an update already. Okay. It's 88% positive of over 1,100 reviews. It just came out this morning, a number of hours ago. And what I'm hearing is like it's basically a kind of take on a lot of similar gameplay elements out of a game like Ark Survival Evolved. It's I think about $25-26, but true, you already have Game Pass. I know, you know, I want to play with all the friendos and everything too, but if people already have Game Pass and it's on Game Pass, I understand that like eventually this game I'll probably be playing this off and on for a while. I don't want people to feel like they need to buy this game on Steam right now whenever you can play it on like maybe your subscription service or something like that too. So yeah, I know that. I don't want people to feel obligated. That's all I'm saying. If you have the means and you want to, by all means, I want to play with as many people as possible. Okay. But I don't want people to feel obligated either. Yeah. So, I understand if people just want to play at the same time I'm playing, even though we won't be able to play together. And then when we get crossplay incorporated, you know, we can play together later on or whatever. That's absolutely okay. I don't want people to feel obligated, okay? But if anybody does want to play, it is roughly, I think, $26 right now. Yeah, it's like $27. It's 10% off right now. And it is probably going to go up in price, by the way, more than likely on full release, which we don't know when exactly that's going to happen, but that is quite often what will happen with these types of games. But from what a lot of the reviews are saying, it's pretty good already in early access, and a lot of people are saying it's like Ark Survival Evolved, but with Pokemon styled monsters and stuff instead of like dinosaur styled beasts and things like that. And it's a lot of people are enjoying this art style and stuff like that. You know, if you know, like Pinky was saying, like this is more his jam art style wise and stuff like that. It's a little bit more fun and you know, I've read some stuff where maybe the building needs a little bit more fleshed out and things like that, but it is early access. I think you gotta understand that, be prepared for that. But I'm excited to get in here and play this today, man. I really am. We need to go ahead and update this though. Let's go. But I just want you guys to know that like, there's no pressure here for people to have to, you know, I don't want you to feel pressured like you need to spend roughly $30 to get it on the same platform. Yeah, fair. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. See what else we got here. Tears of the Kingdom is the best-selling Switch game of the year. That's probably not a big surprise. And Hogwarts Legacy is overall the best-selling game of last year. So, yeah. Call of Duty Warzone has fixed their update that broke everything, and they're explaining what happened. Let's see. Let's see if it sounds true or not. Yo, Fallout, what up, buddy? Fallout Grim, up in the hizzy, dude. What up, buddy? Happy Friday, man. What's going on? Were Xbox fans really wowed by the January Developer Direct? Were they? Let's take a poll of Xbox fans and see how many were actually wowed by the Developer Direct. It feels actually pretty lackluster compared to last year, you know? By the way, where is Team Cherry, dude? I need some flipping Hollow Knight 2. God dang, man. Oh, they already announced Summer Land War dates, dude? Nice. Ferret's like, is it July yet? Bro. Oh, man. Yo, how you doing today, Grim? What's up, buddy? Ferret's already, he just got done with flipping Lamborn. He's ready to go again, dog. He's ready to rock, baby. Steam Game Sale makes over 20 games $1 each. That's probably on like Fanatical or Humble Bundle or something. Woke up, been feeling sick. Snow is crazy, dog. We've been getting snow almost nonstop, dude, for about a week and a half now. Yeah, so I feel that, dude. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, buddy. That sucks, dude. Yeah, the roads were finally not totally covered in snow for like the past week. It's been like that, and then over the past day and a half, it finally went away. Like just on the roads, there's still snow everywhere, but the roads were finally clearing out. And then we got a bunch more snow last night. Yeah. Light snow, maybe an inch. Yeah. Girl sick too? Oh, no, dude. Oh, well, hopefully you guys can just, like, recover all cozied up together, dude. That sucks. I hate to hear that, dude. I hate being sick, dude. I hate to hear other people being sick also. Being sick is the worst, man. We're just going to stick with this. It's not a super involved video gaming news segment this morning. There's only about... 7 articles for us to cover, but that's all right, man. We've already taken some time and talked about some stuff. And so, let me get this cable out of the way. And so we'll just cover this stuff, and then we'll go play some Pal World, man. You got like 3 inches last night, true? Still coming down? Yeah, I don't think it's still snowing for us right now, but dude, we've had enough here lately. We don't need any more, that's for sure. I know you've had enough rain, too. So, Call of Duty Warzone fixes broken update. Studio explains what happened. So, if you guys didn't know, we just covered recently that basically Warzone got completely wrecked by some update they pushed out. I mean, the game was almost unplayable for a lot of people. It was literally unplayable for a lot of people. Warzone has fixed a lot of issues that were introduced in yesterday's update, offered some clarity into how this even happened. Video games are often incredibly complicated pieces of work. It used to be that you were more or less stuck with the game when you got it released. There was no way to push updates to fix bugs and glitches. Now, games can be released unfinished, and companies can bait you into buying them, and then they can just act like it's okay to do that and finish the games after they release them. But I digress. Now games can be fixed on the fly, and ironically, sometimes these updates actually break more things. When there are so many moving parts, things are always changing and being broken. Yesterday, Call of Duty received its big mid-season update, which was intended to introduce a bunch of new content, including things like maps, events, and modes. While those things did happen, they were spoiled by major bugs. Things like ranked play were delayed an entire day, and Call of Duty Warzone was in total shambles, leading some players to claim it was one of the worst updates they'd ever seen in the history of the franchise. When players tried to access their loadouts, the game would bug out and become stuttery and near unplayable. Players wouldn't be notified that a kill streak was going to hit their location, and much more. Yeah, it was like, dude, trying to grab their loadouts, it would just like bug out and lock and flash on their screen and stuff, so they'd just be stuck there. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Led to Raven Software temporarily disabling a hyped up in-game event. Thankfully, they worked around the clock to fix things, and all of the major problems have since been resolved. In a rather surprising amount of transparency, Raven was able to identify what caused these issues and took to Twitter to explain it. The developer noted that some preparation for future updates and content was peppered into yesterday's update, but it led to a major conflict with the game's servers and live player data. Raven noted this wasn't the studio's standards and is disappointed that things unfolded this way. Quote, "We wanted to address the issues that players encountered during the Season 1 Reloaded launch period. We've been laying the groundwork for the return of some fan favorites featured in upcoming seasons, which has required a degree of preemptive setup in our live environment. Yesterday's update shipped with some of that work, and we unfortunately encountered a conflict between live player data and our servers. Our teams were made immediately aware of the issues and began investigating shortly after the update went live. We rallied studio teams from around the world to get these issues resolved as swiftly as possible. We, as devs, love this game and apologize for the disruption that resulted from these events. Please know that we hold ourselves to a high standard, and yesterday's issues did not align with that. With that said, we are also very excited for what's ahead and look forward to bringing the best we can do to Warzone." At least they addressed it, you know. So that's it's inevitable there are going to be issues in live service games from time to time. As much as you would hope that all of this stuff is sandboxed first, you know, in testing environments and things like that, to try and flesh out and make sure that things, and usually that's the case, but it's inevitable. Things are there are unforeseen issues that can crop up anytime updates are pushed out, and you know, it just happens. But the best you can hope for is that you've got a studio, developers that are going to be transparent with what's happening. They're going to give you real-time updates and take care of you as a consumer of their product in a timely fashion, right? Yeah. Oh, you got 6 inches a couple of days ago? Wow. Man. So you guys are sitting on 9 inches now? Kappa. I'm sorry. Bro. I couldn't help myself. Snowman's packing heat, dude. Steam game sale makes over 20 games under $1 each. Fanatical, it's a Fanatical sale. Yeah, did we already touch on this? Build your own winter bundle. I think so. Ain't no snowboy. That's a snowman. Yeah, that's right. That's a snowman. God dang. Yeah. No doubt. Oh, dude. Golf it. I am. Yeah, we looked at this already, actually. We already looked at this a little while back. But if you missed this, then know that there is a build your own winter bundle for Steam keys, if you're a PC gamer, from Fanatical's site right now. I'll link this to you. You can go take a look, and you can get a number of decent games there for roughly $1 each. Yeah. But you have to buy them in a package, so it's going to cost you a lump sum of roughly like $10, $5, something like that. Here we go, Ferret. Destiny 2 is finally getting a character customization update. When this game release? Bro. Wait, what? Destiny 2 was released there. Okay, well, that answers that, right? Destiny 2 was released in 2017 and eventually pivoted to a free-to-play operating model that made it a substantially popular choice for sci-fi fans looking to explore a universe with their friends and go toe-to-toe with all manner of alien threats. Over the years, the community has asked for many things, and Bungie has often delivered. One thing that was called for and never provided was the ability to amend and create a created character after the fact, leaving many players hating their less aesthetically pleasing creations. Well, that's about to change. Ahead of the release of the final DLC for Destiny 2, Bungie has revealed that a new character customization function is being added to the game. Fix what's broken. In a free-to-use update, Bungie is adding the ability to customize almost everything about your character in Destiny 2. That includes facial features, hair, markings, colors, and body type. But you can't change your origin. That means you won't be able to suddenly pivot from human to exo, for example. Interesting. Okay. Bungie explained that there will be no limits to how many times you can customize your character. It'll be a menu you can leap into with the press of a button, tweaking how you look based on how you might be feeling that day. It's a common enough feature in other MMOs, to be honest. For instance, in Bethesda's Fallout 76, players can leap into the game's options screen, change everything about their character in a matter of seconds, which plays quite well into the game's RP scene. Right. It wasn't stressed when this update will arrive in Destiny 2, only that it's coming ahead of the deployment of the final shape, which is set to drop in June. Well, it seems like something that should have been there a long time ago. Yeah. Right, Ferret. Yeah, I mean, this is, honestly, this feels like something that should have been in the game a long time ago. This is something that most, like they said in this article, this is something that most games of this nature, especially, you know, live service games that give you character creation, you know, they tend to give players options of altering your look as you feel like you need to, you know? Well, that's always something that's going to be subjective, you know, that's a respective kind of preference though, right? And this is the thing, I talk about this all the time for developers. You're catering to a mass quantity of people that are playing your game. And so, there's going to be an amount of people that are like you, Ferret, and there's going to be a lot of other people that probably are not like you as well, right? And here's the thing. There are probably a lot of people that if they could change up their look more often, probably, you know, would not go with showing their helmet as much. This is the thing about video games and development. The more options you can give people, the better, right? That's all there is to it. So, while, yeah, there are, I'm sure, a lot of people that are going to be like you that don't really care as much. It's more about the gameplay, not the aesthetics, not the look and stuff. There's going to be a lot of other people that feel differently, right? Well, and that's what I was getting ready. That's what I was touching on, right? If people had this option to where they could change their look more often throughout the entirety of what this game has been historically, it might be a different, it could quite honestly be a different thing. People would probably show off their looks more often. There probably wouldn't be quite as many people just rolling around with their helmet all the time, right? If you had more options for changing your looks and showing off what your character actually looks like and stuff like that, there probably wouldn't be quite as many people just rolling around with a helmet all the time. The thing is, the more options you can give people to appease their preferences, the better. That's all there is to it. So if people don't care, they don't have to utilize it. But whenever you're not giving people options, you're gatekeeping people from being able to, you know, not utilize these kinds of nice quality of life features that a lot of gameplay, you know, gamers and people that play the game would love to have, right? So by incorporating more options for people to utilize and improve their gameplay experience, the people that don't care still don't have to use it, but the people that do care, and it is going to improve their gameplay experience, why not have it in there? That's why options are great for games. The people that don't care and don't want to use it don't have to, right? Here's our first look at Bethesda's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So we watched this yesterday. I'll link this so you guys can watch it as well. But we got to watch. I'll rock it. Well, right. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Mm-hmm. It still doesn't change my thought on it at all. Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people that I'm very about fashion in my games. You know, I love it. Whether I'm making my character look absolutely hideous, which is, you know, quite often me trying to make my character look like me, or if I just want to be, you know, something entirely different. You know, I like fashion. There are a lot of people that enjoy fashion in video games, you know, for whatever reason. And, you know, to be able to utilize that as something fun to do extra in a game, there's no reason not to have it as an option for created characters and stuff like that. In my opinion, I think it's something that probably should have been in the game a long time ago. Again, for those kinds of people like yourself that don't really care about that kind of stuff, you know, cool. Then that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for all the people that do enjoy it, it's just an additional nice piece of quality of life for the game player, right? We'll go ahead and watch this.
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
Myths. History. Just different ways to interpret the past.
This is actually the only game that I thought looked good out of the developer direct yesterday.
Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs, scattered and buried. Just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me. Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
And the model does look so good. Looks just like Harrison Ford, like younger Harrison Ford.
I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay then. Let's see if you can keep
dude, I didn't really, I never got real fixated on Indiana Jones when I was younger. Like, I watched it, you know, but, and it was cool. But I never got into it like a lot of other people did. This game looks dope.
Patron
It looks
of
good.
the fallen angels.
And this is one of the ones I was, I was just like not expecting much.
Chukulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
It does. It looks good, dude. It looks pretty good. So, a few years after it was first announced, we finally have a glimpse at the Indiana Jones game from Bethesda Studio and Wolfenstein developer Machine Games. It's called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and the gameplay reveal was shown during Microsoft's Developer Direct event. Yo, let's just scenario base this. How funny would it be if this game ends up doing better than StarCraft, or not StarCraft, but Starfield? Yeah, they did. They made him look like back then. Wondering if it's just going to be an Uncharted clone. I don't think so. It doesn't feel like an Uncharted clone to me from what I've seen. There might be, obviously, it's going to have some of the same vibes to it because it's that same kind of, it's got that same vibe. It's got that same ambiance. But I think it'll feel different. At least from what I've seen. And you would hope it would anyways. Yeah, Grim. I don't know. But, I mean, this is also one of the things I talk about a lot. The developers, when they're showing and promoting games and marketing games and trying to get us hyped up about games, they're always going to show us the best of what they have. They're going to do the best they can to show us the best of what there could be, right? So it's who knows? But I will say this was by far the best looking thing I saw out of the Developer Direct yesterday, and I mean, time will tell, I guess, right, Grim? We'll see, man. It's an action-adventure game that takes place in both first and third person, depending on the scenario, and it's set between the films Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. With Bethesda boss Todd serving as executive producer, it doesn't have a release date, but Microsoft says it is coming later this year to Xbox and PC. And yes, there's a lot of whip-based action. That's right. Indiana Jones game was first teased. It was actually, they showcased a lot of the different mechanics. Like, you can use the bullwhip to, like, distract enemies to go to certain locations and, like, sneak around them and stuff. Or you can use it to, like, actually engage with enemies. It looks like they're doing some pretty cool stuff with it. The Indiana Jones game was first teased back in 2021, and last year came word that it would be exclusive to Xbox and PC. The reveal comes as Lucasfilm has been partnering with a number of notable studios to bring its properties into the realm of video games, particularly when it comes to Star Wars. Titanfall Studios Respawn has already made 2 games about Jedi, which were both balls on release, and they should get wrecked for it, but with more in the works. Yeah, they've already greenlit the 3rd one as well. Look, man. Can we just talk about Respawn for a second? They do Apex Legends. That comes out of the Titanfall universe. But their big games they make too are the Jedi games, right? Most recently, Jedi Survivor, and what a hot piece of garbage on release across all platforms. And that was on the heels of the previous Jedi game that was also had a lot of issues on release. Nobody should be buying the 3rd game whenever it releases. Absolutely not. This is, dude, like I threw in that sentiment in that article we were reading earlier about connectivity and updates and being able to patch games, where we weren't able to be, developers weren't previously in video gaming history able to do that kind of thing, but now they use it as a crutch, Jedi Fallen Order, dude, that game notably had a lot of issues on release. they even noted on the delay of Jedi Survivor, the reason they were delaying it is because they didn't want to run into the same issues they had with Jedi Fallen Order. But they still did. It's just giving me a bunch of Survivor stuff. But yeah, there was a lot. Not to the extent of Survivor. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was. There was. I don't think it was to the extent that Jedi Survivor had, but Fallen Order absolutely had its own issues. It's a known thing. Hold on, let me see. If we like went back and looked at the history of like around when this game released, we would get a lot of news articles about it and stuff. And again, Respawn even came out, and because if you don't recall, Jedi Survivor got delayed. And when Jedi Survivor got delayed, the studio actually was vocal. They were like, look, we don't want to run into the same issue with Jedi Survivor that we did with Fallen Order, because Fallen Order had a lot of issues on release. We don't want to run into that same issue. That's why we're delaying. Boom, same exact thing. Even with the delay, Survivor was even worse. And I don't remember with Fallen Order if it was on every platform or not, but Survivor definitely was. Definitely was. And this is the issue, man. These companies have gotten so, and let's be fair, Respawn is the developer, EA is the publisher, so I have no doubt about the fact that EA is, as a publisher, pushing Respawn to hit release dates and things like that, you know what I mean? But it's not really excusable. Anytime a developer / publisher is releasing a game and it's absolute trash on release, and I don't care on what platform, any platform where a game gets released and it's obviously not ready for that platform, that's unacceptable. And too many of these developers and publishers have gotten comfortable with releasing games, especially when they have a name like Star Wars attached to them, because they know people will still buy it, right? But they've gotten too comfortable with releasing games unfinished and going, we'll just fix it later on. We'll fix it after release. And then they bait all of us as consumers into buying these products, and we are the ones that ultimately pay the price for buying all these broken-ass products that aren't finished. It sucks, but this is the crap that happens. And Respawn, is a company that people have to keep in their minds, as they've done this now twice in a row. They've greenlit the third Star Wars. What makes anybody think that they won't do this to their fan base and consumers again? So as we approach the next Respawn game release, people need to remember that and not be buying into this, their next Jedi game on release, not be buying into the next Jedi game as pre-orders and stuff. It's terrible, dude. We make these beds for ourselves, man, and the only way it's going to change is by people not doing it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not saying that people shouldn't end up maybe checking these games out or whatever, ever. Yeah? But is it worth to keep supporting these companies that do these things to us, giving them a AAA price point for the products when they come out and they're not finished? Absolutely not. All this does is exacerbate the issues that we deal with in this industry as gaming enthusiasts and consumers, right? It's terrible. It just makes these companies continue to feel more and more comfortable with doing it to us time and time again. So the key to it is, don't buy it until they fix it. If they don't fix it, then they don't get their money. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. But if these companies have shown you a history of doing this to you in the past, then you know what I mean? You wait and see what the product's going to be like before you purchase it. That just makes sense, rather than buy into it knowing that you're probably going to get a piece of crap on release again anyways. Sorry. I know. I'm ranting a little bit, but dude, I get so tired of these companies doing this crap to us. Ubi is working on an open world game called Outlaws, which is slated to launch this year, and Quantic Dream is working on the story-focused spin-off Eclipse. Meanwhile, a remake of the classic RPG Knights of the Old Republic appears to be in trouble. Appears? Has been in trouble for a long time. Yeah. Now you got developers like Dr. Disrespect's Midnight Society making people buy NFTs just to get in on the betas. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Jesus, dude. Flipping crazy. Crazy, man. Yeah, it is. It's disgusting. Yeah. So again, I mean, the way that I try to, and most of you guys that have been around here for a while know the way that I address this, and a lot of what I try to do is promote a healthier industry for us all the way around. Because the more that we support these kinds of terrible things that they do to us, the more it's going to continue to happen. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't play these games eventually or whatever. It's just like me with CDPR. I'm not a fan of the way CDPR does their game releases and stuff. I'll probably eventually buy Cyberpunk, but there's no way I was going to buy Cyberpunk at a full price tag. They didn't deserve it. They baited 13 million people into buying an unfinished notably super unfinished product, dude, in Cyberpunk. So in my opinion, did they deserve to have me spend money on that game too? Absolutely not. Not at least right. I'm getting more and more open to the fact of potentially buying Cyberpunk as it's got a complete edition with Phantom Liberty, and if I can get it at the right price point, then potentially, but they're just companies that need to do better before, I'm invested in supporting them very much. That's the way I think a lot of us have to look at this, to try and get the industry to change for the better for us as the consumers and us as the gaming enthusiasts, man. We've been treated like crap for a long time. Like crap, dude. And nobody else is going to be able to change it for us besides us, right? Yeah, the full indie segment's down here as well. This is going to be like a 13-minute watch if you guys are interested. So I'll give this to you, and then let's go take a look at the this is a nice segue into the actual developer direct summary we had yesterday. So we watched this live together, and honestly, I really don't feel like there was much anybody. Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Much anybody missed if you didn't watch it live, whether it was with us or just wherever else, besides Indiana Jones. I mean, there was Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. Aura actually looks pretty good. If you're into like 4X strategy type games and stuff, Obsidian showed off a very brief additional look at Avowed, and I think that I can't really fathom a whole lot of Pillars of Eternity fans being real psyched about what this game is bringing to the table. I'm a huge Pillars fan, and I'm not getting a lot of great vibes coming off of this game, to be honest with you. For how deep of a game both Pillars of Eternity 1 and Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire were, and what I was expecting to get out of a game like Avowed was more like a first-person view or aspect of, and I think Obsidian makes great games, but I think it's going to be fairly shallow in comparison to what we got out of the Pillars games, and I don't think that's what a lot of us want out of a game coming being built around the universe of Pillars of Eternity and in the world of Aora. And for me, it's a turnoff. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I think this is a movie. I don't think this is a video game. I think this is a cinematic. This is going to be a cinematic experience with a little bit of interactivity in it. it is going to look nice, but in all reality, I don't think this is a true video game. The more I see about it, the more I feel that way. Aura History Untold's historical grand strategy. I think that this looks pretty cool. If you're a fan of strategy games, 4X games, stuff like that, this looks like this could be pretty decent. Our buddy Tinwin here in the community is a pretty avid 4X strategy game player and is pretty psyched about the way this looked, you know? And Visions of Mana. I don't really know what to think about this yet. I'll tell you that I'm not a big fan of a lot of what Square Enix has been doing as a company. I still think they push out decent content, but as a company, Square Enix is very much on my radar of big developers to be concerned about, and we'll see what's up with this when it releases. So if you didn't get to watch the developer direct with us, that is basically a pretty concise summary of my thoughts about everything they showed off, and it wasn't, in my opinion, a fantastic showcase, to be honest. Oh, fair. It's cool, man. I'll just email your boss. I meant to do that yesterday, dude, but I'll email boss and just be like, yo, Ferret's busy, and we got things going on. There's a release today that we're supposed to be testing out together, and he just needs to bounce. And it, I'll take the heat for it. Don't worry about it. But as soon as I'm done with the news, man, I'll email boss. Don't worry about it. Why am I? Oh, dude, I'm getting rid of all these articles. I'm an idiot. I need to pull some of these articles back up. Hold on. Boom. I've got muscle memory for doing this. Boom. What was the other one? Is there another one? There was another one, right? What else did we cover, dude? Thought we had 7. True. Developer direct. Oh, it was actually just the Indiana Jones page, wasn't it? Where's the Indiana Jones page at? This one, right? Yeah, that's cool. All right, we're good. We're good. I need to keep these up so I can put all the links into the Discord channel. I was getting back into my old muscle memory, man. Yeah. Let's go with this one first. Shout out to Soup for this. Soup shot me this morning. So, GTA Online's Rockstar Edition is losing last gen support. So, since Grand Theft Auto's Online's PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version is turning 10, Rockstar's eliminating the in-game editor for those systems. Rockstar revealed that it'll be killing support for its titular video editor for GTA Online's PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions on February 20th. On the developer's newsletter, it cited the technical capabilities of the previous console generation. GTA Online has been around since 2013, and its PS4 and Xbox One version will be 10 in November. By ending last-gen support for the editor, Rockstar hopes to keep those versions updated with GTA Online editions for as long as possible. Current generation of PC players will be unaffected by this change. Along with the editor, clips or projects saved by players won't be seen on the consoles after that date. Rockstar advised players export those projects and clips before February 20th. So, look, Yeah, I know that for anybody that's still playing this game on either of these consoles, this feels bad, but that is the way this goes. Okay, so you have to understand this. This is the nature of your console platforms. Okay, it is limited on your life cycles. So whether you're talking about how long the hardware is going to I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I've still got old consoles that I'll pull out and play and use and stuff like that. But as far as them being supported by the developers and in large part, as well as software developers continuing to support the software and servers that are on the back ends of those pieces of software and stuff like that for live service games, it's inevitable that they shut down. And we're seeing, you know, we are roughly halfway through the life cycle right now of the current gen consoles. So we're talking about PS5, Xbox Series X and S, right? So those consoles, we're roughly halfway through their life cycle right now, meaning that at this point in the life cycle of these consoles, last generation consoles are really starting to dwindle as far as support goes. Yeah. So, in about another 3 to 3.5 years, we will get another generation of console. And at this point, that's when the previous gen consoles really start kind of shutting down. Developers of software are no longer making a lot of software for the previous gen console. It's mainly a focus on the current gen consoles. And, you know, a lot of this kind of stuff happens. It's just the way it is. And so my advice would be come play on PC. You know? You don't have to deal with generational issues of a you know, PC. Obviously, you know, there's technology gets older and you have to update and stuff, but you know, PC's PC. It'll always be supported. But it is something you have to deal with on the console side of things. It really, truly is. And you've just got to be aware of that and you've got to be ready for it. It's what happens. Last but not least, a very, very bad way to end. I mean, it's an appropriate way to end our news segment for the day. I mean, we can't go almost a single news segment without talking about layoffs in the industry. And so here we are, man. You know, it's day in and day out that we deal with these kinds of things. It was the same way last year. It was a brutal look at what's going on in the industry, and it just really leaked over into 2024 as well. Mass layoffs are causing big problems in the video gaming industry. I know, man, it's terrible. Games like Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, and so many more marked 2023 as a year of instant hits and commercial successes. Developers were suffering. Layoffs rolled across the industry worldwide, knocking out a reported 6,500 jobs from studios like Amazon Games, Ubisoft, Epic Games, and Niantic. Many more. Roughly one-third of developers were affected either directly or indirectly by job losses in 2023. According to new data released today by organizers of the Game Developers Conference, and the industry impacts will be felt for months to come. Each year, the GDC polls attendees about issues facing the industry, from layoffs to generative AI to diversity efforts. It's distracting. Shut up. No autoplay. Layoffs to generative AI to diversity efforts. For the current survey, they polled 3,000 developers from the game studios, large and small. The replies paint a concerning picture about long-term career sustainability with the game industry, a field that perhaps grew too quickly during the COVID-19 pandemic and is on the midst of a rapid consolidation as well as burgeoning unionization efforts. According to the survey conducted in October of last year, 35% of developers were either laid off or had colleagues laid off at their companies. Of those layoffs, it was quality assurance workers who seemed to have been most impacted. 22% of QA workers, quality assurance workers, said they'd been laid off in the last year. That sucks. If there's, in my opinion, anything we need more of in this industry, it's more quality assurance. What this tells me right here is that most companies see quality assurance as something they don't care about, which means we're going to be seeing more and more games released in bad states of unfinished product. So we'll have more games that have more bugs, more games that are unfinished, more games that need more patching on release, and it's just going to be brutal. Only 7% of developers overall reported losing their jobs. Perhaps unsurprisingly, it's quality assurance workers that have been leading the union charge at companies like Activision Blizzard. Developers also expressed apprehension that their companies could have layoffs within the next year, with 56% of respondents declaring some level of worry about future cuts. The layoffs are concerning because they don't seem to be following the typical cyclical trend of layoffs after a project ships, said one respondent. Not that was great either, but it's hard to predict these days where and when layoffs might happen. Many developers believe the reason behind this industry's mass layoffs is pandemic related. Let me stop for a second. I've noted that there was a lot of overhire probably that happened during the height of the pandemic. The hardware part, hardware production of the tech industry and gaming industry and stuff was had a very brutal time dealing with the pandemic. But the software side of things was booming. It was massive. A lot of people were staying home. A lot of people were finding ways to take up their time and engage with other people. And since you couldn't do it face to face, online communities were a great way to do that. And video games were a great way to do that. So video game software, especially games as a service and stuff, just got massive. And so there's no doubt there was a little bit of overhire, right? So things have come back to normal a little bit. The industry's come back down to earth as it will, So it's there was, I think, inevitably going to be a little bit of, trimming the fat for some of these companies as they had overhired. But that is not what I think the majority of this can be chalked up to. I think the majority of this has to be chalked up to a lot of bad business decisions. And a lot of these companies not wanting to be transparent about that. And instead of trying to save employees and hold mid to high level, mostly high level employees accountable for these bad business decisions, and say you're either going to need to not have bonuses and take a pay cut so that we can sustain, because these were some bad business decisions that were made. They immediately go to, let's fire a bunch of low level employees. I mean, that's the way this comes off every single time. Studios that ballooned in the headcount are now facing harsh realities as people spend their money elsewhere. I see it as a correction that now that revenue is back to more normal levels post-pandemic, said one respondent. Another deemed it a reality of doing business in changing markets. Yeah, nice. This is the same quote we get all the time with firings. Job insecurity can lead to bigger problems for developers than just finding new work. Developers on work visas face the threat of deportation and losing their lives they've built abroad. For others, it keeps them from seeking out jobs with healthier environments. I feel forced to stay in a toxic environment. Yeah. For smaller studios looking to survive, the industry's rush towards consolidation may offer some solace. According to a developer at a small company just trying to make ends meet, there is an allure in making one's self desirable for acquisition. It alleviates some of the pressures caused by financial burdens. Developers are still split on the impact of consolidation at large. However, 43% believe it will negatively affect the game industry. King Udogi. Is that Doji? King Udoji? I like it, dude. What's up? Am I pronouncing that right? It looks like Doji. You little Doji. Yo, what up? How you doing, friendo? How's it going? What it do, man? Happy Friday. In 2023, Embracer Group became the poster child for struggles of acquisitions. Yeah, and it's continued. After gobbling up studios such as Gearbox, who they've been trying to sell now, and they've been firing people underneath Gearbox subsidiary. And Crystal Dynamics, the company cut hundreds of jobs last year to staunch its financial bleeding. It closed other studios like Saints Row developer Volition entirely, which was a 30-year developer. They were most recently known for things like Saints Row, right? But Volition started off as Parallax, I think was their name. They, if you're not aware, they started off roughly 30 years ago doing games like Descent and Red Faction, right? Miss Marvel Avengers, yeah? Really? What do you miss most about it? Because, I mean, Marvel's Avengers was, that was Crystal Dynamics, right? Wasn't that Crystal Dynamics? Pretty sure. Funny enough. I mean, that game just got shut down at the end of last year, right? That was Crystal Dynamics, correct? Yeah. Crystal Dynamics. Yep. I mean, I didn't play it. But I'm interested in what you found to be missable about that title. Everything that I know about that game was that it was very repetitive gameplay. It was riddled with monetization, which isn't a good look. It was a fairly bad writing. There was a lot of things about that game that was quite a big turnoff for a lot of people. So I'm interested to know exactly what it was that drew you to the game in large part. If you don't mind elaborating, my friend. It closed other studios like Saints Row developer Volition. Yep, entirely. Once a huge publicly traded company buys up large swaths of industry, and look, let's not. Exactly what happened with Embracer was they put a lot of their eggs into a basket with the Saudi Arabian government, or regime, if you will. The Saudi Arabian government and regime uses a front of a company called Savvy Games Group to invest money in the gaming industry. And apparently Embracer Group had a $2 billion with a B, like Bobby or Baker, $2 billion deal set up with Savvy Games Group, the Saudi Arabian government, that fell through. And when that fell through, Embracer started crushing everything underneath them. Okay? So they're not talking about that here, but that's exactly what happened. Once a huge publicly traded company buys up large swaths of an industry, said one developer about Embracer's fumbles, it will inevitably end up creating redundancies and placing innovative, more exploratory studios in a position where they'll never be seen as profitable enough for shareholders. The game industry as it exists today is a difficult one to stay in for the long term. According to the GDC survey, 56% of developers have been involved in games for less than 10 years. Of those with longer tenures, 87% are men, 92% of those men are white. Wow. Instability within the games industry continues to fuel support for unionization. The GDC found that 57% of developers are in support, a number that's up from 53% last year. Used to be extremely anti-union as it felt it would adversely impact an industry reliant on flexibility and innovation to continue to thrive and grow. One developer responded, I still mostly feel this way, but the large-scale layoffs are making me rethink my otherwise confident stance. Layoffs and working conditions, including increasing AI use, are just a few reasons some developers are pro-union. One of the departments at my company unionized, and they were less impacted by layoffs than other departments, said one developer. Another pointed to concerning working conditions at their company. I got a 1% raise during an 8% inflation period. They said, my needs around WFH flexibility are getting ignored. Incoming AI automation is a risk to my job security. Crunch is coming back. Leadership won't listen. That's terrible. The full impact of 2023's layoffs may not be obvious immediately, but the massive loss of jobs, and in some cases whole studios, as well as consolidation, will inevitably mark the games people play. We're working in a deeply unfair industry, and one developer, and the massive loss of talent and morale will be felt in the coming years. Absolutely. It's already bled into 2024 significantly, and it's just continuing a terrible trend. It sucks. I'll express the same sentiments that I do every time we read, which is literally like every single day we do the news, right? Every single day that we do the news, we read more about layoffs and the struggles and the things that people have been having to deal with in the gaming industry as well as the tech industry, right? And it's that no matter if it's this industry or anybody in the world, if you're dealing with job loss, My heart and thoughts go out there to you. It's a difficult thing to deal with. It's quite often a struggle, not only for to sustain a healthy lifestyle, you know, of just affording necessities, but it's the mental health aspect of it is also, it takes a huge toll for most people. And I just hope that people dealing with these kinds of situations in the world find something very soon that is more fulfilling, makes them happy, is a better fit than anything they had previously, and is truly a grass is greener type situation where you know, they can be feeling fulfilled in their careers moving forward. So I don't know, it's just such a struggle to watch people deal with this kind of stuff, and it sucks to read about this every single day, man, but it's where we're at. We'll keep addressing it as long as we need to. You know, it's a brutal look. Loved grinding on it. Word. Ooh, Suicide Squad. I've actually been advising people not to, you know, personally, as, you know, so you're new to the community here. This is, so we start off all of our streams with video gaming news. A lot of what I do is try to advise people on, you know, I think better ways to promote the industry for us as consumers and video game enthusiasts, and to try and cultivate a healthier industry all the way around for us, you know, and particularly for me and a lot of the things that I've seen in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, it's led me to believe there's a lot of stuff to be concerned with there. You know, you're talking about a game that is coming out at a AAA price tag. $70 for the base game, and then they're trying to bait people into buying the deluxe version for $100, when all you really are, if you buy the deluxe version, is a final beta tester. You might get a couple of cosmetics, but you're paying $30 extra to play the game 3 days early. All that does is make you a final beta tester. That's disgusting. It's a disgusting mechanic that a lot of these companies have become comfortable with doing, and I don't like it. And not only that, but the game is riddled with monetization. It's riddled with monetization. Battle Pass, cosmetics, you know, there's going to be a ton of DLC, paid DLC. There's supposed to be some free stuff too, but a ton of paid DLC, stuff like that. This is a ploy to get people to spin. And whenever I see games do this, it almost always is a situation of a company, more worried about trying to suck money out of people than the quality of gameplay. I hate it. I hate EA too. Look, man, there's a reason why we have this. All right. A new Vancouver-based EA studio. EA. Sorry, guys. It's so hard to say that without wanting to throw up. So I call out all these companies, dude. I'm not a fan. So I think that all I can do is advise people on my thoughts, and I've been a consumer and game player for my entire life. I've played on all platforms, and there are things that I've seen. I mean, we've watched the Suicide Squad development process for a long time now. We've known for a long time that it was, you know, going to be a live service game, a game as a service. It was going to be riddled with monetization, and then we found out that it was going to be selling at a AAA price tag too, which is really pretty disgusting. There are a lot of people that are fans of Rocksteady because of what they did previously with the Arkham Batman games, and it's unfortunate to see a studio that had become so beloved because of games like Batman, you know, the Arkham series, which are iconic. Those games will be those are historic games, turn into doing something like this, you know. And for me, being somebody that wants to promote a healthier, and look, I'm not somebody that's unrealistic about, you know, us as consumers. I think that there's an appropriate amount of money that we should be giving to developers for the amount of entertainment we get. You know, if you play a free-to-play game, for instance, and you've gotten a good substantial amount of time out of it, you should be looking at a way to provide some kind of monetary compensation to that developer. I truly believe that, you know. But there's also something to be said for how much are we paying for games that aren't really worth that amount of money, right? And I'm sorry, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, to me, looks like a game that is going to probably have a little bit of entertainment value. Cutscenes are probably going to be decent. But I think that a lot of the gameplay is probably going to get pretty repetitive. It's probably going to get kind of old, and it's not going to take very long for that to happen. As a matter of fact, I've been talking about this for quite some time. We've already seen review sites getting their hands on copies of the game to be, you know, before it even released, and they're saying exactly what I was expecting the game to be like. It's being reviewed as kind of fairly mediocre right now. So that doesn't mean that, you know, that's necessarily going to be your experience with the game. You might love it. You know what I mean? But I think that people should, you know, really take a hard look at, you know, how much is your money worth for the amount of entertainment you're going to be getting out of a game. I think that's the main thing that people can do. And I think that we got to be very careful with the way that these companies are trying to monetize everything about our entertainment. You know, if we're getting a good substantial amount of entertainment out of a game, then they should be compensated accordingly. But if they're producing us, you know, kind of crap products or even quality products, but the amount of entertainment you're getting is, you know, minimal. Like, take for instance Insomniac Games' latest game in Spider-Man. The Spider-Man 2 game was only about what, 15 to 17 hours worth of story. Is that worth a $70 price point? Just a 17-hour gameplay experience? Is that worth $70? I don't think so. You know? That's just something that I try to get people to take a look at and think about. And so, look, man, I hope that you have a great time with, you know, Suicide Squad. I do. But I definitely, you know, one of the things I've advised people to do is to not buy in on day one, to not pre-order that game, because the way that they're monetizing it and the way that they're trying to put a AAA price tag on it at the same time feels pretty scummy. Feels pretty gross. So at the very least, I've been promoting people to kind of let it release and get a look at what reviews are saying about the game before people decide to just dump money into it. You're not going to be missing out on anything by waiting a day or two to find out what people are saying about the game. You're not going to be missing anything. Oh, yeah. I think Insomniac's a great developer. I think they develop great games. But, you know, I think that's the amount of entertainment versus what you're paying, you know? People have to start taking a hard look at is it worth what you're getting out of it? I truly think that that's a huge thing that we've got to start taking a hard look at and practicing better, you know, methods of practice there, you know? I think I just said practice better methods of what I'm losing it, dude. I'm losing it. Practice better methods of spending when it comes to you know, our purchases based on how much entertainment we're getting out of a piece of software. Because some companies do it very, very well, and some companies do it in a very scummy kind of way, as far as I'm concerned. But I am sorry that the Avengers stuff shut down, even though you enjoyed it. I didn't play it because there wasn't enough there to really pull me into it. It didn't appeal enough to me, but that always feels bad when games shut down, buddy. You know that you're interested in, and that wasn't a real long-running game or anything either. So I do feel for you on that front. I do, yeah. And it's good to have you. It's good to have you. So that's the news for today, guys. We're gonna go play Power World. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. We're gonna be playing Power World, which just released in early access today. From what I'm understanding about it so far, this is gonna be kind of an if you took Pokemon and threw them into an Ark survival kind of gameplay element, gameplay world, it's a mashup of that a little bit. And I haven't played a lot of the modern Pokemon games, and I haven't ever played Ark Survival Evolved. So, you know, it's going to be a new kind of experience for me. But the game, I've been watching Power World for a long time and I've been psyched about it for a long time. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to get started, man. So, to everybody that was here and part of our video gaming news segment for today, January 19th, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Everybody that's a part of our community on the Constant, dude, you guys rock. You know who I'm talking to, man. Thank you. We're gonna have a banger Friday, man. We're not done here, dude. We're just kind of segueing out of the news segment here. We're gonna get ready to play some games. If anybody is hanging out and you're not familiar with what we do here, then you know, this is the way I stream 6 days a week. I start every day at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT. That's 7 a.m. Eastern, or 4 a.m. Pacific time. And that's around the time that I start every single day. I don't stream on Wednesdays, but we always start off with video gaming news. We try to really flesh out a lot of these current events that are happening in the video gaming industry, stay current on what's happening in the world of video games, and promote a healthier industry for us as enthusiasts, video game enthusiasts, and consumers all the way around. After that, we move on and we play games for the rest of the day, man. And so if you want to catch up on any of the content that we've done previously, I do my very best to make sure that the video gaming news segments, any pertinent articles that we've covered out of that, specifically those news segments, the game playthroughs we've done, video gaming news, the funny clips and highlights that we've got while we played games, stuff like that. All of that content can be found in playlists on both the Twitch channel and our YouTube channel, so you can go check that stuff out. And I would just prompt anybody that is digging our channel, our community, and the content to come be a part of what we do when we're live, man. We've got an awesome community here. We're all about, you know, promoting a civil community, a civil society here with what we do, as well as just being welcoming and inclusive and being good peoples, man. Spreading good vibes, having a good time, enjoying video games, and just having a caring community here. So if you are that kind of person, you know, try to be void of toxicity and negativity, and you can dig what we're about here, then we would love to have you come be a part of what we do when we're live. We got a lot of amazing people that are part of what we do, and we're always looking for more good peoples to be a part of it, man. So other than that, man, happy flipping Friday. We're going to move on. I'm going to segue us out here with a little bit of an outro video, but it'll be really quick. It's just to kind of end our news segment and get us rolling into playing video games for the rest of the day. So I'm going to run this, but stream's not going down. I'm not going anywhere. And as soon as it's over, I'll be right back, and we'll start getting ready for day 1 of early access of Power World. You guys rock. Happy Friday. Be right back.